It's just that thing of being timed, though. I hate it when people go, "Oh, have you read this?" And then I can't read it properly because they're thinking I'm taking ages here. Do you know what I mean? So I have to scan read it. And I go, "Oh, it's good, that." And they go, "What do you think?" And I go, "Oh, about what?" So I hate the fact that someone stood there with gloves on, because that isn't normal, relaxing sort of reading, is it?
But it's not, you don't go in to read the Doomsday Book, let's say, in order to just have a relaxing read. You're going in there to study
There
it,
are
historically.
say they're professors and scholars and scientists and historians. They don't wander in because it's raining and they go, "What's a good read?"
There's not a man wearing white gloves turning the pages of the latest Jackie Collins.
Exactly. Do you have heat?
Watching your lips move as you read to see if you can turn the next page.
I suppose I shouldn't really feel guilty, because at the end of the day, right, I mean, people always rave about Shakespeare, saying, "Oh, his work was good." But
Brilliant.
at the same time...
He'll probably put that on the book when he brings another one out. He'll put your review on it. Yeah. Oh, that was good. Karl Pilkington.
But at the same time, like, some people will have a go. I'm ready for people having a go, like that Wendy did about Me Little Films Are Made. There's always people...
Wendy Robinson?
Yeah,
It's her opinion.
For those of you who didn't hear last week, she slammed Karl.
No, well, each to their own and that. And, if everyone liked the same thing, I don't know what we'd do. Right?
Sure.
You don't know anything.
So all I'm saying is, everybody raves about Shakespeare, when, if you properly looked at what he did, he invented a lot of swearing words, right? Effing and jeffing and that. Now,
That was one of his.
Well, it's Effing and Jeffing and Effing and Jeffing Part 2. Did he make up a great deal of swear words? I don't know that I'm aware of this.
A lot of them are Shakespeare invented. But all I'm saying is, for some reason, when things are brought out years ago, people say they're good even though they're not, is what I mean.
But let's not mistake the fact that Shakespeare is not, people seem to confuse him as though they think he wrote these things in order to be read. He wrote them to be performed. They're plays. They're not books in the traditional sense. He didn't bring out the latest book.
No, but just when something's old, it gets a bit more respect, is what I mean. When I was watching that documentary about the real Indiana Jones,
Brilliant.
they dug out some rocks with drawings on, and they were like, "Oh, don't damage them, don't mark the paint," and it's like, it's rubbish. It was like a stick fella with a yak. And now, if that was found now, or if a kid showed me that, I'd go, "Hey, it's not that good." So what I mean is, because stuff's old stuff gets respect.
But you're not judging it on its aesthetic merits. You're judging it on its historical importance.
I don't think that's fair, though, because when that fella drew that, it wasn't old. He did it when he was knocking about.
No, yes, but you must see the difference between you doing a stick man on a wall with a bit of chalk near your local, and a cave painting that they date to 10,000 years ago.
Yeah, so in 10,000 years' time, when they find my story about the monkey fireman, will it gain more respect then than it is now?
No, less.
But why is it?
Because people will more and more realise what a buffoon you are. The more research we do, the more these podcasts we do, the more you expose yourself as an empty, egg-headed moron.
That's a friend speaking right there, Richard Gervais.
No,
he loves you like a brother.
I just think, you've mentioned him before, Steve, this Peeps fella.
Yes.
Has he done anything else apart from a diary? Because now I've done a book and a diary.
That means you're better than Pepys,
well,
is what you're thinking,
Well,
isn't it?
I'm not going to say that until I know, but what else did he do?
Well, Pepys wasn't a writer predominantly. I believe he was, like a bureaucrat or something. But he kept a diary which has since become a historical landmark.
And what did he say in it?
What did he say in it? Well, it's again more because it's both well written and it's also an amazing insight into...
A social document as well.
Document, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a social document of that
yours
period.
is a social document, but it sort of revolves around having egg and chips and a calf and seeing a ladybird, which,
But that's today's living. That's
well,
but
his describes the Great Fire of London, which is what it's most...
Yeah, but we haven't had one of them. If we had one, I'd write it down. I'm only writing what's happening. The ladybird happened, right? I wrote it down. He was just lucky. He was about in London when that happened.
So you're a little angered that you've not witnessed one of the great disasters?
Because the thing is, if they read your diary, they'd think, well, nothing happened that year. Nothing important in the world happened that year.
Because your diary doesn't just mention. I mean, okay, yes, it does. It fails to mention any disasters in London because we haven't had any. But it doesn't mention any. It doesn't mention any world events. It doesn't mention wars in Iraq, terrorism. It doesn't mention anything.
But that's all been wrote about anyway. If you're saying there's a museum that's keeping everything, there's loads of other books for that. Who's looking at the fella whose skulls fell off?
What?
We see. It's interesting, isn't it?
What do you mean the fellow whose skulls fell off?
Well, that's what happened the other week, so I wrote about it.
What?
A fella's skull has fell off.
What do you mean his skull has fell off?
It's something to do with circulation.
But what do you mean his skull fell
Well,
off?
it's in the diary.
But how can a skull fall off? Because it's surrounded by tissue and it's got a brain. How can just his skull? How can it detach itself from all the stuff surrounding
He
it?
mislaid all his dreams.
But all I'm saying is that's not getting a look in.
No, because it's not significant or probably true.
Good point, Steve.
I don't.
All right.
know
Well,
what's
let me
anything
just.
based on.
I'll just consult the diary quickly and find the moment with the man whose skull fell off. Oh, here we are. Yeah. Looks like the world's fattest man is having an operation to get rid of some of the fat. He has to have an iron bed because that's the only thing that can hold his weight. There's also a man whose skull has fell out. He's in hospital somewhere. I hate that. It would make me panic. The hospital is busy with people coming in to look at their head.
What are you talking about there? That tells us nothing. Right, it's impossible for a skull to fall out.
How are scholars in 10,000 years going to be... What are they going to decipher from that?
They can sort of go.
There's not enough incident detail.
But how did his skull fall out?
Circulation problems.
But answer the question. How did his skull fall out? Fall out of what?
He was at home, and I don't know if he was combing his hair or something, but it come off.
What did?
His skull.
What do you mean, his skull? Do you know what the skull is?
It's a part of the head.
Well, no, it's the structure of the head. It's the bone. Do you mean the top of the skull?
This is only useful if you have all the salient facts. Then it would be of interest to us. We could.
Well, I couldn't take that on. I'm busy. I'm not going to start looking into stuff in depth. Just get the details.
God. You're such an idiot. You are the best, idiot in the world.
Well, I don't want to be premature, but that entry is followed by, I injured my toe the other day by dropping the toaster. Instead of letting it hit the floor, I tried to catch it with my foot. I didn't think I'd done any harm, but my nail looks like it could fall off. I might show it to the doctor when I get me kidney stones out. We could easily get by without nails on the feet. They are more trouble than there were.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
I think on the days when cavemen without shoes and animals need nails, I don't think we need them now. I honestly, because you hear about ingrowing toenails, right? So that's a problem. You got to cut them. Stuff gets under there and gets infected. Get rid of them. You won't have any of that, as long as you wear shoes.
No, you'd have unprotected toes and fingers, wouldn't you?
I didn't say on the fingers, just on the toes.
So why do you need them on the fingers and not the toes?
Because you use your hands to do stuff. I've said about toenail out. It'd be good to have it growing on the head.
What?
Just having like a sheet of it, just like a nail on the forehead. You wouldn't look weird because we'd all have it. I'm not saying.
What are you talking about now?
I'm just saying I don't want to go on about evolution stuff because we've done it all.
What do you think the skull is for?
No, but I mean on the outside, so that when you bang your head, it's a little bit more protection. Like people. I mean, you're looking at me like that. Why do you wear a helmet on a bike then?
Because the bike wasn't meant to be invented. We weren't meant to whiz along at 70 miles an hour with evolution.
I know, but because life's changing, like you've said.
But you can't go, let's evolve, let's re-evolve.
Okay, let's assume we've got this nail on our head that's growing out of our forehead.
So we look like one big thumb.
Yeah. Which weirdly, Carl, I mean, you can almost imagine it looking at Carl now. You can imagine a big nail there. Does the nail continue to grow? Do we have to trim the head nail?
Yeah, in the same way you get a haircut.
Why is that preferable in your mind to just wearing a crash helmet in instances where you might have something hit your head?
Just because, for a start, helmets, you have to carry them around with you. That's one thing that's put me off having a motorbike. Whenever you see someone on a motorbike, it's all like the clothes they've got to wear. And it's like a big upheaval, isn't it? It's you know, if you have a car, you can get in with your shorts on, your flip-flops on. A motorbike, it's like you're an astronaut or something, and you're only nipping down the road for some milk. Do you know what I mean? So, what I'm saying is get rid
But does it annoy you having to put shoes on every day, and underpants, and a vest, and I don't know.
No, but once
a
they're on,
jacket.
I'm not carrying them. They're on me. If I had to then take the shorts off for whatever reason and walk around holding them, I'd go, I can't be bothered. I don't like holding a bag. I don't like bags. We carry too much around with us now. I don't like carrying stuff. It's just a hassle, isn't it?
It's just endless things he doesn't want to do, doesn't like doing, isn't like carrying bags. Who the hell has a gripe about carrying bags? Why is that a concern?
Because it's stuff that's on you.
I love the way that he wouldn't mind having a nail going out of his fucking head, but he doesn't want to carry a bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, this is the problem I have, because there's a lot of areas in London and elsewhere in the country where there's a sort of, you know, it's a gay thing, you know, it's a gay public toilet, or I don't mean it's gay, but it's not like a legal thing.
He means a cottage.
But it's a cottage, whatever. I mean, I remember being, in Bristol once, doing some...
You're confused when I said it's a cottage.
Yeah.
That's a term for where gay people go in toilets to sort of meet and greet each other.
Well, I
Shake hands.
I was at the public library in Bristol once doing some studies from a sixth form, and I think the toilet was closed in the library. I was dying for the toilet, and I popped down. There was a public toilet behind the library. I thought, I can't believe my luck. Dashed down there. It was about 6ish in the evening. I was working late. I was studying hard. I went in there, and I swear to God, I saw two fellas with the.
Is that unusual? Or
Well, no, they were up to some hijinks.
what they're sort of like?
Do you know the thing that struck me?
What?
One of them had bright red underpants.
What do you mean? You saw what? He had
They
his
were
trousers-
actually doing, you know, they were having some kind of, you know, they were having relations. They weren't even in a cubicle, they were out in the,
Where were the underpants?
well,
Where-
around his ankles.
No.
Yes, I swear to God, I'm not going to make this up.
What old were you?
I don't know, like, how old you are in the sixth form? 16 or whatever, 17?
Yeah. And what did you do?
Well, I actually
What? You
said,
just joined in. What else did you do? You might as well.
I
yeah.
actually swore, I said, oh, F me. And then I went, oh, no, don't. No, I did, I swear to God. I did. I went, oh, F me. No, don't. Because I was panicked, and I ran out. And as I was walking out, a guy was coming in, I went, oh, hang on, mate. And then I thought, I better not tell him. I'll let him find out for himself. He might be going in there to join in. He might have got a call. Come down. We're going crazy on each other's ass. Come down.
It's conspiracy of Bristol.
But what
conspiracy.
annoyed me
my
was-
lover. Want a bit of cart?
What angered me, Rick, was the fact that I wasn't notified, that there was not, I didn't know
There
this
was no sign.
And afterwards, I spoke to other people about it, and they said, oh, it's a famous gay haunt. But what annoys me is I feel that they should put an ad in the local press,
Yeah.
a big paper, like once a week, like, you know, when they recall cars if they're damaged or there's a fault, or couriers might bring back stuff if they're sort of faulty goods, they say recall and we'll give you money back. They
What
should
do you
put an advert in, the
suggest?
gay community should put an advert in that just says, these are the hot spots, this is where you're likely to find us doing some stuff. If you're not gay and you might feel uncomfortable, avoid them. And just list them, or little pictures, or, you know, a map or something. Anything, because like the gay tube thing, I don't know that's
Fun. 1, 2, 3. Railway cuttings.
well, not that. It's more of a it's more of a sort of social awareness thing.
Yeah.
So people, you know, don't feel uncomfortable and.
But they don't want it exactly to be like sort of walking in under a neon sign.
Why? It's legal.
yeah, big arrows. Oh, as if.
What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
Because, well, it's actually a public place. I don't think cottaging is strictly legal.
But they don't even have to specify what they're
But
going to do.
some people, they're not. Some of them aren't. I don't think it's
But they
probably seen
advertise
gays, is
GAY.
it? Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not the people that go out and they say I'm gay and I like Barbara Streisand. It's presumably the sort of people that do that are people that either aren't quite out yet, or do you know what I mean? Or they're doing having a quick one away to their wife and kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know completely how it works, but I'm sure there probably isn't a place like free bumming here tonight.
No, there is kind of.
What?
Because I was walking home one night through Soho, right? Just because that's the way I have to go, not because you know what I mean? I wasn't going there on that, right? So I'm walking through, right? And I was handed like a card, which was like a gay event, right? Now that's a bit weird, isn't it? That straight away he's presuming that because I'm there that time of night.
Well, and you've got a shaved head, and you sort of like, you know, you sort of like quite look after yourself, and you've got some nice clothes.
Yeah, but it's still
And you look
can't
like a
really
little bit
presume.
rough, don't you, from Manchester?
It
You
was
look like a northern rent boy who comes down to stand outside McDonald's.
But the card was rubbish, right?
What do you mean?
Had this fella on it,
Yeah.
right? All sort of greased up and that.
What would you look?
Just having a look what he'd handed me and that.
Right.
Just having a look. Picture of him, sort of sailor's hat on, tan body, like just his arse out like that, and rubbish slogan, right? The best bum in W1.
Is bum there a noun or like a verb?
What do you mean?
to bum? Is it like, get the best bum you've ever had? Or, he had the best bum?
I think it's just
I don't
like
suppose you asked.
No.
I don't suppose you called the number to check. What do you mean exactly by this? Does it mean you've got a great arse?
Do
'Cause
you
think
mean I
mine's
will
good.
be well bummed? Or do you mean you've just got a
Alright,
good...
come on now, let's...
Can I just, a final point about, because I asked my friend how it all works up on the Heath, because I live in Hampstead Heath, near Hampstead, and I was where I didn't want to go walking and get myself involved in anything.
How can you get involved?
No, but again, I didn't want to walk
Sort of like,
by.
is it like, oh, you believe it? I couldn't say no. Oh, my wrist, it's knackered. What do you mean? Well, I was there for about 2 hours. I must have gone about 43 of them. But, you know, I didn't like to say no, because they were so pleased to see me. Oh,
Well, it's
God.
not so much the fear of that. It's not
Good skiing practice. I was doing 2 at a time for a little while.
It's not the fear of that so much as the fact that, again, you don't want to gate crash someone else's party. Do you know what I mean?
No.
You don't. If there was a straight couple having sex, you'd want, oh, I'm sorry, and you'd want to avoid that area.
Yeah,
'cause you,
of course.
But I find so someone told me how it works, and apparently you just go in, like sit on a bench or something, and then a guy just sits on the bench and they just look at each other. There's not really anything said. It's just a kind of nice evening or whatever. You know, I guess it's like 2 in the morning or whatever, and then they go off in the bushes and ding dong. But it's like, I don't know how that culture's developed.
I love this programme
But
now.
why can't that be the case with women? That would be amazing. You just go out to the park, and like 1 in the morning, you just sit on a bench, you just
Be like a scene from Gigi.
Exactly.
Where
Great.
he's just walking along with the perambulator.
Yeah, exactly. But that would just be a joy if there was none of this formality. You've got to talk to them, buy them dinner,
Oh,
you know,
you're joking.
romance.
Oh, no.
Just this kind of informal thing. It'd
So
be
what?
great.
So what would you do then? You go up to a woman and go, "Come on,
Yeah.
let's stop mucking around."
We know why we're both sat on this bench.
There's a nice bush over there.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit.
Yeah, and then she'd go, yeah, great, thanks. I'm killing some time before I, pop into town.
Yeah.
That'll be perfect, thanks. You make my weekend.
So you're jealous of gays as well
In
as
a
me.
sense. In a way.
What do you think, Carl?
Let's put a track on.
Why? Are you getting scared now?
You
What?
brought it up.
Is it getting too close to the bone, so to speak?
Can I tell you one of the best presents I ever had? Without doubt, all I ever wanted was a go-kart. This is true. I was like, sort of 5, 6, 7, and I eventually, for Christmas, I wasn't sort of spoiled in the sense that I got pocket money, but I always got what I wanted at Christmas eventually, because working class mothers, they'd get it out the catalogue and pay for it for the rest of the year. So I always got. I'd really, as many presents as anyone else. And I got this go-kart. It was a little red go-kart, and it was a pedal one. And I'd run home from school, and I'd be in it, and I'd get down the garden for hours. I'd come in from a tea, and this was fantastic. And this went on for like weeks and weeks and went through the summer. The next summer, it was just, it was fantastic go-kart. I'd show off. And then one day I came home, and I went, it was always at the back of the shed, sort of up against the shed. And I went in, I couldn't see it. And so I went to the back door. My mum was sort of like washing up with that. And I went, "Where's my go-kart?" I thought, it hasn't been nicked. She went, "Your dad swapped it."
Your dad swapped it?
Yeah. I went, "He what?" And I was going to be brave, and I went, "He what?" She went, "He swapped it for a wheelbarrow." And I could see she didn't approve of this, and she was thinking, "I'm going to tell him, and then I'm going to, have this out." And I went, "Right." She went, "It's your wheelbarrow." And I went to the back of the shed, and there was this wheelbarrow. He swapped it with a bloke called Jimmy Dublin, who he worked with.
Jimmy Dublin?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was a respectable member of the community.
He was fine. It was his lively. No, I think he was an Irish gentleman, and that's why we called him. That's why I don't know what his real name was. And I think my dad must have been drunk, and he went, "I want to get my son a go-kart." And my dad, my kid's got one. He's probably had it for a year. He's probably bored with it.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll give you this wheelbarrow." And I went to this wheelbarrow, and it was caked in concrete. I could hardly lift it. I just nicked off a building site, obviously. And I'd be there for hours trying to push this wheelbarrow up and down the garden, right? And it was okay though, because I was going on holiday soon, and I 7 years running went to Bognor Regis, a place called Riverside, because some woman around the way had a caravan that we got free for a week, and it was great, just wonderful. And I used to go there with my mum and my nan.
Oh, party time.
Yeah, the age of 7 to sort of no, it was good because when you're a kid and you wake up in a strange place, it sort of seems weird. You wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning hearing your gran pissing in an iron bucket, and
We've all been there.
You get disorientated. Anyway, and I went on holiday, and I met a little friend who was about my age. We were both sort of like, right, and he'd hired a go-kart. He had this great go-kart, and he came round to my caravan, and I went, I've got a go-kart. And I remember my mum opening the window of the caravan and going, don't lie.
That's so evil.
And I went, I had a go-kart,
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you ever talk to your father about the fact you swapped it?
No.
You never mentioned it to him?
No.
You still got that wheelbarrow?
I think so. I've grown into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can nearly lift it now. Yeah. And now I'm just too old to run up and down the garden with
now
it.
you get one of your several gardeners to use it all the time.
Hello and welcome to the last in this series of 6 of the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant,
Hello.
and Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Carl, as you're aware, you've obviously got many celebrity fans. David Bowie is a fan, people involved with creating The Simpsons. And you've also got a new fan, Warwick Davis, who is the short actor that many people will see in films like Return of the Jedi. He also is in Harry Potter. He's 3'6", and Ricky and I worked with him recently on extras. And far from asking us about the many celebrity names that we've worked with, the only person he was interested in talking about, of course, Mr. K. Pilkington.
He wanted to meet you, Karl.
Yeah. Well, is he alright to get on with?
Why wouldn't he be?
Just because sometimes when people aren't normal, it's just...
Sorry?
No, I just mean when someone... Like, I've met a few little people in my time. The one that I met a little fella once, and he was alright. He got drunk really quick. But he was alright, but it took me by surprise. Only because, like I've said about when I met Steve for the first time, it's only that same thing. And then if I lived with the little fella, I'm sure we'd get on a storm.
What do you mean when you met
There's
Steve?
a TV show waiting to happen.
What do you mean when you met Steve for the first time?
No, we've done it, you know, when he walked in, it just a bit of, oh, he's different. But then, I see Steve every week, and, you know, the same way I say I like watching Elephant Man, from the first time I watched it to the last, totally different. When he walks in the first time, it's like, oh god, look at that. It's a mess, isn't it? When I watch it again, it's kind of like, oh, here he is, here's John. So, it doesn't, things wear off. That's like the world, isn't it? Things don't amaze you as much as you see things and you use things often. And it's the same with the little fella you're talking about. First time I see him, I'd be a little bit like, oh, what do you say? You know, what shouldn't I say? Whereas once you get to know him, I'm sure he'd be a lovely little fella.
I don't know where to start, Steve.
Well, Warwick, I think, suspected as much. He's offered you an interesting fact, actually. You're wearing headphones now. Apparently you wear those headphones for just 1 hour, and it will multiply the amount of bacteria in your ear by over 700 times.
But why is he worrying about that? I mean...
Well, he's not worrying about it. He thinks it's of interest to you because you're wearing headphones. It's part of your profession.
You wear headphones, yeah.
But Warwick asks, really, what are your thoughts on short people, particularly in entertainment? Because, of course, they've, throughout the ages, made an appearance, particularly in fiction. Tom Thumb, of course, the Oompa Loompas.
What do I think of them?
He's just wondering, you know, I suppose, what your take is.
They're alright. I mean, when I was on jury duty, when you go in the morning, you have to go into a big sort of waiting room, and every day I'd sort of see one pop in, and he'd be sort of struggling getting on the chair, and it was kind of something to watch. It was different. That's what's good with things in life. If you look at stuff and you go, oh, look at that, and seeing him struggle on the chair, he was happy. He wasn't struggling in a way that he felt uncomfortable. He'd obviously climbed a lot of chairs in his time, and this was just another one. And watching him, it just makes you think. You go, you know, I should appreciate that I don't have that problem every time I have to sit down and what have you. But I don't think it's that bad. If I had to pick being really tall or really small, I'd go for the really small one because, you know, the world's a more interesting place for him, isn't it? Everything's bigger. Do you know what I mean? We go to New York and go, wow, look at this, and they go and they go, oh dear. Do you know what I mean? Everything's a lot bigger. Everything's more amazing. Food portions, everything's a bonus. So out of the two, I'd be small, and maybe that's what I'd chat to Warwick about for a bit, just to get to know him.
Brilliant.
It's a shame in a way that he's not been able to pop in. I'd like to hear that conversation.
But I've got, you know, speaking of like weird stuff and that, I've got a new.
Well, we weren't, but go on.
No, got a new book. Do you know I had that Freaks book, the top 50 freaks? Got a new one sent to me.
Really?
Yeah, and do you know like everything normally has a name. So like if it's the two-headed fella, you know, they're all nicknames like that, aren't they?
They've got two nicknames, I imagine.
But this new book I've got, right, on the cover of this one, it's got like a woman with 3 breasts, right? And she's called the three-breasted woman, as you'd expect. And there's what else was in there? There's a fella, the one face.
Why is she posing nude though? That's what I want to know.
Showing off. It's not the worst disability, is it?
Well, just 'cause you got 3 doesn't mean you have to get them out for the lads, does it?
Tart.
I know.
Well, she looked happy. And there was a fella with like one face but 2 bodies.
In one face but 2 bodies.
One face, 2 bodies.
What do you mean
It's
one
weird.
face, 2 bodies?
Surely
know.
you one head, 2 bodies.
Ed as well, but it was mainly the face that was weird because he looked fed up. He sort of,
What are you talking about? How
What
can
are
you
you
have
talking
a face
about?
without a head?
How can you have? What do you mean? How did it join to the neck?
no, it did have a head, but the fact is, it was weird that it had one face to me.
What do you mean?
Well,
if you
of
got
course
one
he had-
head, you'd
yeah.
have one face.
Yeah, I know, but it was the fact that he had one face and 2 bodies that I didn't think.
But
one
why do
head-
you keep saying one face and 2 bodies as
Why
opposed
not
to
one
one
head?
head and 2 bodies? We're all the man with one face.
Yeah, but now I've got one body.
Yeah, well, surely he's the man with 2 bodies then. Again, the description.
Roll up, see the man with one face.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
He's just got like a face and then one neck, and then it splits off into 2 bodies. It's really weird.
It
Honestly, it's
doesn't.
weird.
Was it-
It was ages ago.
Well, no. No, it doesn't happen.
So it's full of stuff like that, right? And what I'm saying is, that fella, you know, the one-faced man, the 3-breasted woman.
He wouldn't be known as the one-faced man, is what I'm saying.
Well, they've all-
that
they all-
isn't the peculiar thing about him.
No, well, they all had names like that. But
Right.
there was one thing in it that didn't even have a nickname. It was so weird.
What do you mean?
It just said unidentified.
What does it look like?
Sort of testicles for eyes. That's. It just reminded me when
What
you
do
talking
you
about
mean
strange.
testicles fries?
And what is it? Did he have a normal body?
I didn't even look at that.
Oh,
No,
so
that's what I'm saying though. You're attracted to the oddness of the thing, and that's what I was saying about Warren when he walks in.
Warwick.
You know, it'll be odd for a minute, and then I'm sure
For him.
He'll
For
get
him it
over
will be, yeah.
He'll get used to you.
you know, I mean, like I've said, I'm surprised that things like that don't happen more, because especially after being in hospital and seeing how the body works and that.
You
How
have no
does
idea
it-
how the body works.
No, honestly, I've got me
Right,
head
you
round it a
have
bit.
no idea. You've learnt nothing.
I've got me
You've learnt nothing since the age of 7.
I've got my head round it a bit more, and the way that there's loads of people in the world, and yet you don't see people with like dangly eyes more often. It amazes me.
I love the fact that he's amazed by not seeing freaks.
Yeah.
It's incredible. He's walking down the street going, oh, everyone's got one head. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Suzanne, see any dangly eyes today? No, me neither.
It's weird, isn't it? What's going on in the world? Oh.
Warwick's not been the only correspondent. We've had a number of people. Remember years ago we used to encourage people to send in questions, and those questions have been drifting in ever since, really. Just things that people want to throw at you, see how your mind works, Carl. Do you mind answering a few? I suppose you might loosely term these philosophical questions, or at least questions that might help you think, ponder on some of the bigger ideas.
This is your forte, Carl. Philosophy, isn't it?
Question 1. Carl, are all men born equal?
Well, we've talked about Warren.
Warwick?
Say if like the Pillow Man, right, the fellow with no arms and legs, if everyone was like that, that wouldn't be a disability. He'd be equal to everyone else, wouldn't he?
When someone fights for equality, it doesn't mean they want to be treated literally the same. For example, it's usually about a prejudice, isn't it? Or a lack of opportunity.
Yeah.
If you were... just to think of equal opportunities in terms of a job.
Yeah.
If you needed someone for a lookout on a lighthouse and a blind person went along, they couldn't do the job. Whereas if it was listening for stuff, and you didn't give it to the blind person because you were worried about, don't know, blind people, that would be imposing a prejudice because he could hear as well as you. So if he was the best for that job, he should get it, despite his other disability.
But I'm pretty sure, yeah, your ears are important in a lighthouse.
I'm pretty sure he's come down on the wrong side of the argument, Steve.
Keep going.
Go on.
No, I just want to hear it, you know.
I mean, if they want to go for any job, go for it, but then don't moan if you don't get it. That's all I think.
Is that your equal opportunity statement?
That's your statement.
Well, I don't take anyone on, so I don't have all these worries, but I'm just saying, if I was in charge of that lighthouse and the deaf fella turned up, was he deaf or blind?
Well, it depends. I gave you
There
two
was one of each.
scenarios.
There was a deaf guy and a blind guy.
And no one else. I'll put another advert in. Right, do you know, in the first podcast that we did, we chatted about the monkey that went into space and stuff. So where we left
So
it,
haven't you got a real new monkey news?
well, it's an update, isn't it? I mean,
Is
all
it
that-
new? Has
Oh.
it happened Has it happened since podcast 1?
I have to pick Ricky up on the point that he thinks any of the monkey news we've heard, A, happened, and B, happened recently. It almost always happened in olden times, or ages ago.
Oh, you're right. It never happened.
Right, anyway, so like I say, the first monkey news, it was about this monkey that went into space.
This was the one that was fed by bananas that came out of a little chute on the spacecraft.
Yeah, it went up there, did a really good job. It was taught how to press the buttons, hit the left button for a banana, you know.
Right button to
go right.
uh, make history and go,
Go
to
right and
space.
stuff. Right,
Oh, what do I want? Not more banana. You haven't taken off yet? More banana. Oh, we shouldn't have given him a choice of banana or a change history. We should have the right button. We should have fed him before he went and only had a right button. He's at the left button again. He's just eating bananas up there. What's going on? It's costing us a fortune. Dave, you fucker. Press the right button and do something. Oh, bananas. And he hit the left button again, the little fucker.
so anyway, yeah, I told you, he went up there, he came back, he could never get that
The high,
high
exactly,
again.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He tried other things. I think he tried to get a band together and that. Right. So anyway, there was loads of monkeys that were signed up to this NASA program, and it was 1961 when this little monkey called Ham, that was his name. So a bit of an update. That's the same one as I talked about. His
Right.
name was Ham. As well as him, there was one called Enos. He went round the world loads of times. So anyway, what I've found out about it since then, Am went up there, did the left-right business with the bananas. Enos, they didn't put as much work into the trip when he went up there, and something went wrong with the machinery. And do you know how you get a banana for the left button and all that?
It's official now. There's 2 buttons in this spaceship. Banana dispenser and everything else. The right button is everything else.
But it worked the other way. The machinery went weird,
Oh no, really?
so it meant that the right button would give him a banana.
Right.
The left button did everything else.
Oh no.
How does
So
that, how
what-
does
so
that
what
happen,
had been
though?
taught-
What?
This is the problem with electronics, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think
No,
that is.
apparently this is the problem.
But the good I mean, honestly, look it up if you want. This is all online, by the
So
way.
what happened when it all went haywire? What occurred?
Look, Carl, this is online and it's bollocks.
Luckily, Enos, because he'd done a few trips,
Right,
so he was like, well, I know this isn't right. As much as I love bananas, this isn't right.
That was his thinking, of course it was.
So anyway, so he came back. They were all like over the moon with him.
He
you
said,
know,
I
going,
can't work with these conditions.
good mission and everything. Well done on working it out. He sorted all that out. It moved on a few years. Armstrong's gone up there. Buzz and that other fella, they've been up there. The monkeys aren't needed anymore. But they were like, we've got all these monkeys who have done NASA training. What are we going to do with them all? And they had to raise £14 million to make them like an old sort of chimps home for retired
Retired NASA-trained monkeys.
chimpanauts. Something they've got in there is like a little museum, right, of all the missions and that they've been on, so they can sort of, even though they're not going to be going into space again, they can almost relive it and reminisce of the times that they've had.
They're reminiscing with each other, are they?
Just sort of going,
chatting
oh,
about the
remember
old
that time when it all went wrong, the button became the left when it should have been the right and all the rest of
Yeah.
it. They just, you know,
Talking about old times,
talking
yeah.
about old times and what have you, like old people like to do.
Sure.
And yeah, that's it. So if you want to like give some money towards their home, you can go to like savethechimps.org, and it's all there. All that information that I've given you, it's all there. You can. sort
I'd
of
be
help them out.
surprised if all the information you've given us is there.
It's all there.
I'd be very surprised.
It's all there. Just retired, monkeys and that who've done the bit.
Perhaps we should retire Monkey News to that same place.
That's what I mean. So, I hope you've enjoyed the monkey news and that. That was the last one. Look after the monkeys. Do your bit, because they've done their bit. That's it, yeah. But just because I'm not giving the news, look it up. Do you know what I mean? It's all out there. Don't be ignorant. Right, we're doing Rockbusters.
Yeah, come on. Listening
Steve, do you
online.
want to do the clues?
I won't do the clues, I'll never be able to piece them together, but I'll give you the prizes. The Old Grey Whistle Test Volume 2, Kumar's at number 42, Volume 2, or maybe that's Volume 1, who cares? Porridge Series 3, Volume 2, The Office Complete Second Series on VHS, for anybody who's still got grandparents, and U2, a Best of 99 to 2000, and Smash Hits The Reunion, that'll be the kind
Carl.
of stuff you'll love. Spice Girls is on there, Liberty X, Atomic Kitten.
Do you see that? Do you see Steve's enthusiastic? Even though the competition's rubbish, the prizes are second rate, Steve is going, well, I'm not going to punish London, right? I'm going to big it up. You're there. Oh, fine. Do you know what I mean? Come on.
Right, here's the
one,
first
come
clue.
on,
Clue one.
Come on. Come on!
Shut up!
Come on!
Can't do any photos because it's been nicked by a German.
Right, start again.
Oh,
Start again.
what?
Clue 1. Rockbusters, Clue 1.
Okay, this is Rockbusters with Karl Pilkington. Go!
I can't do any photos because it's been nicked by a German.
And what's the initial?
AC. Right?
Next.
Second clue. If you keep eating, this bit of your body will get bigger. PC. PC. It's an artist or a band. Who is it? PC. If you keep eating, this part of your body will get bigger, right?
Yeah.
And the last one I'm not really sure about. If you...
He's actually winging it now. Imagine if this was Mastermind. I'm not sure about it. I know your specialist subject
Come
is,
on! Okay, go!
The place where you go to take your dog a walk and that.
The place where you go to take your dog a
Oh,
walk.
forget it then.
we were doing Rockbusters just before the ads and the record. Rick, I know you were enjoying it.
Yeah, come on, get this clue out, Carl. There's three. What is it?
Right, the first one was...
No, we don't got the first two. What's
Can't
the
do any
third?
photos because it's been nicked by a German.
Yeah.
Second one, if you keep eating, this bit of your body will keep getting bigger.
Yeah, it's different every time. Go on, what's the third one?
And where you take your dogs for a walk and that, or you might go there on a Sunday.
What?
Sort of...
Oh, Jesus
Rick,
Christ.
please, Rick, just be quiet for just a moment.
Right, okay, do this clue. Right, start from now. This is the third Rockbuster clue.
That was a Freudian slip.
Yeah, God, we'll get done. Right, go on then, go.
Where you take your dog a walk, or you might go there on a Sunday and that. People sort of might taste that area. Right?
Oh.
It's rubbish.
AP.
Right, well the other one's AP as well, eh?
AP.
What?
AP.
Right.
Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
AP.
A quick reminder of them again with the initials. Quick,
Oh,
go.
this is such rubbish.
First one, can't do any photos because it's been nicked by a German. Second one, if you keep
What was the
eating...
initial?
AC. If you
Don't
keep,
get annoyed, that's what the game's about, the initials!
Yeah.
if you keep eating, this bit of your body will get bigger. That's PC.
Right.
Right? And where you take your dog maybe on a Sunday and you go for a walk there and that, have a taste of it.
Different!
AP, just email in and you win some stuff.
Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
What rubbish. I wonder why we stopped this game.
Well, I think it's probably exhausted him. He needs to go to some kind of volcanic dust island. Talking of email correspondence, Rockbusters.
Oh.
Rick is
okay.
underway. People
Have we
are
got monkey news?
Absolutely loving that.
Let's see if we can cram it in.
Have we got a film?
Yeah.
We should do that then.
Well,
Let's finish one thing and move on. Jesus, calm down. Alright,
Right.
Rockbusters.
Let's get this third one out of the way because it's tricky.
When you say tricky,
It's tricky to say.
The initials were AP. It was,
Well, you take your dog out on that,
you
or
take
maybe
your
on a
dog
Sunday.
there.
You know,
Come on, let him
let's
finish.
taste it.
Quick! Let him finish.
You take your dog there. You might go there on a Sunday. Have a taste of it when you're there. Right? That was AP.
The answer.
Alex Parks. Right? Alex.
Alex Parks.
Yeah. Kind of
Carl,
doesn't work, that one.
But
That one doesn't work, I know. I know, it's...
you know that one doesn't work.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well that's
Well,
fine.
that's,
then
that's what I was trying to work out when you were messing around.
What
That's
do you
why
mean
it's not
messing
good.
around?
Okay, come on. The other ones.
The first one was, the German
gonna be
fella.
brilliant.
Can't do any photos because it's been nicked.
What's
German
that?
fella can't do any photos because it's been nicked.
That was,
The initials were?
AC.
I've got it.
I took,
Right, it's Aztec camera.
Yeah.
But what's that got to do with the German fella nicking it?
Because the way he'd say it, he'd be like, you know, Aztec camera. So why aren't you taking any pictures? Can't. Why? Aztec camera.
Why is that German?
Just sounds a bit...
Right, so you know that's rubbish then as well. You know that one doesn't work, do you?
And the second one was, if you keep eating, this bit of your body will get bigger. PC. Yeah. Phil colons. Phil.
It's honestly right, Carl.
Phil Collins. Phil
honestly,
Collins.
right, okay. I don't know what the PC term is for this, but I honestly think. I think you're quite bright, you know. I think you're quite streetwise and all that things, but I actually think. Oh, I've got to be so careful here not to offend people. But I think you might be.
Could you maybe describe it through a sound?
You might be educationally subnormal. Does that worry you? No.
I've got by alright, I'm not going to worry about it now. You know what I mean? I'm 30. You know what I mean? Why start worrying about it now?
But you've got the mind of a 12-year-old.
So what?
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I don't worry about stuff. If you don't know about stuff, you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy.
Well, if he's educationally subnormal, I'm afraid also Matt Briggs of South East London is as well,
Well
because he
done,
got all
Matt,
three
well
right,
done.
as did a number of other people.
Well done. Well done.
that.
Yeah.
So he's won that stuff.
Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Go on.
Right, this one. Remember Blockbusters?
Uh-huh.
Right, this one is good, and we'll do this one. Rockbusters. And remember how Bob Holness used to give you a letter?
Yeah.
And it'd give you a question, and the answer to that question is that letter.
Yes.
Right, well, it works like that. So if I said to you, we'll test it out on you, Steve, right? Right, welcome to the show and that.
Hello.
Let's play, right? And I say, right, your first one is W.
Mm-hmm.
And the cryptic clue, because it's done like crosswords.
Okay. So not quite like Blockbusters.
Well, this young man prepared for his death. And it's a W, so the answer... And it's not always going to be like our sort of music, it can be any sort of music that's out there.
So the W is the name of...
Of the answer.
I understand that, but is the answer always the band name, or is it...
Yeah.
It's always the band name, is it, or the artist?
Yeah.
And so would the W be the surname, or would you have both the initials if it was someone's name? Would Elvis Presley be EP?
Don't get annoyed,
no.
Carl. These are
These
these
are
are
valid
questions that I
questions.
knew would be asked. I know this. You tested it on me, so you've got to tell them.
Well,
This is
To
the
know
point.
the rules.
If it was Elvis, I'd probably do E.
No. Give him the answer. Give him the
Right,
answer.
did you hear the clue?
No, give me the clue again then. So the letter is
It
W.
is a cryptic clue, and
It's
the clue's
W.
fine.
Listen,
but,
and the
go on.
clue is, this young man prepared for his death.
This young man prepared for his death.
Yeah.
This young man prepared for his death.
And it's a W. And it's his first name.
That's what he needs
Well,
to
see,
know.
that's the, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't...
Well, shouldn't we have the initials? Wouldn't that make it easier? I mean,
Yeah,
wouldn't-
but they didn't do that on Blockbusters, it just had one
Yeah,
letter.
they did.
No, they
They
did.
if it was, if...
The gold one they often had us for 3 or 4
Did they?
letters. Yeah.
Well, it was normally just one word. It wouldn't have been a name or something.
Alright then.
W.
Y. W-Y.
Will Young.
Excellent.
I
Right,
didn't
so
understand it. What was
this
the
young
clue?
Will
man,
prepared for this young man.
So he's sort of mixed, sort of cryptic.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, that's a good effort. That's better than usual.
No, it's
that is better than
It's
usual.
not bad, is it?
So do you want to play? Let's play Rockbusters.
Yeah, Rockbusters.
How many of these have you got? No, because
No, did you
wait. Let's just clarify a couple of rules here, Carl. Let's just make sure we thought everything through, because I'm pretty certain when they get these things on TV, they at least have a go at them in the office first, before they put them straight on there. I'm sure that's how it works. I'm sure Bob Wallace just didn't turn up the first day, and he goes, we'll wing it, it'll be fine. Bring the students in, let's have a go. I'm sure they did a bit of preparation. So let's just check, we've got every base covered.
Yeah,
Firstly, how many questions have they got
I'll
to
tell
get
you
right?
what, let's do this off air then. Bad news is we have got enough callers to play Carl's game. The good news is we don't have to pay any more adverts.
Yeah.
In this show. So, if it doesn't work, sod it. Right, who have you got on the line, Carl?
Sam.
Now let's just remind ourselves, what's the game?
It's Rockbusters.
Okay, now calm down, Carl. I know you're a bit stressed, you've got a lot to do, but don't worry, you've just had a holiday.
Throw this desk out. Let's throw it out and start again.
Rick, don't get stressed.
Go on then.
People wouldn't think it was us if this show wasn't, you know, half-baked and ill-formed and generally shoddy. That's what they've grown to love.
Okay, alright.
Sam,
Hello.
is it sounding alright today?
It is. It's just about.
Right, cheers.
Sounded worse.
Right, then.
Good.
Well,
And
let's-
so we've got Sam on the line. Who else have we got there?
let's see, we've got Tim as well, haven't we?
Oh, no.
Alright, Tim.
Tim and Sam.
Right, okay.
You sound quite similar, lads. Could one of you affect an accent or something? Which one's Tim?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, which one's Sam?
It's Sam.
That's slightly deeper,
Bit
slightly
deeper,
deeper.
yeah,
Sam,
And they're not against the clock anyway, are they? So it doesn't really matter.
I suppose not.
So,
I think Steve just wanted a bit of variety. Okay.
you understand the rule, lads?
Could you explain them to us?
Right, play it. Okay.
Well, hang on, wait.
Well, let me explain, because I mean, life is too short. Now, Carl's going to read out, say 3 clues, yeah, and just shout your own name and answer it, or shout the answer. Shout your own name, then the answer if you know it. And it's the person who gets the most right.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Here we go then.
okay then.
Shouldn't it be the first to 3?
Well, yeah, but then he hasn't got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got enough, it's fine.
You've got enough clues for that.
Right then, here we go. Welcome to the show.
oh God.
Right, first initials, S-T, right? Is that right? S-T.
Well, I don't know. Oh, we don't know, do we? How do we know?
Here we go, S-T, and the cryptic clue is better than the average homeless person. Okay?
Sorry, I think, is that a band?
Yeah.
Is it an old band?
Yeah.
I think that's one word.
Alright then, S. S, it's an old 70s band. Better than the average homeless
Tim.
person. Tim?
Go on.
Supertramp.
Yes.
Supertramp
Well
it
done.
is.
Yeah.
Well done, 1 point to
Well,
you,
No idea
Tim.
why that's right, by the way.
You don't understand why it's right?
He's a super tramp.
Oh, right.
Better than the
okay.
average
Oh,
homeless person.
cryptic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cryptic.
Yeah.
Okay, second one. Come on, Sam, you've got to...
That's actually quite good for Carl. Trust me, Tim. That's, I mean, take that as a good clue. Because, yeah, okay.
We won't do this again.
Right, 1-0
Right,
to
here
Tim.
we go.
Right.
F. The letter is F. That's the next one we're moving on to. And the cryptic clue is, the little girl is hungry. What shall we do?
Is that S or F?
I've got it.
F. F.
Ready? Sam. Peter.
Yes, 1-1. Feed her.
He's pulled out of it.
Feed her.
Yeah. Feed her. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 1 each. So this is the decider, isn't it?
Wait a minute,
Well,
ITV
no.
are on the phone.
Well, you said first to 3, so no, it's not, is it? That's what I said. Just do the 3 clues and who gets the most.
Okay, well we can do that now. So, here we go.
I love this. This is rubbish. Go on.
So here's the last one. The initials are AK, right? And the cryptic clue is exploding pet. Shout out your name if you know it.
Last orders at the bar, please. Last orders at the bar.
Exploding pet. AK.
You're tuned to XFM 104.9, Carl Pilkington's quiz, Rockbusters. The format is still available. The highest bidder, please give us a call, or you can email ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Is it a band or a singer?
I'll give you a bit more of a clue. It's a pop band. Okay, we wouldn't.
No. Tommy Kitten.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh,
Hey.
this is amazing radio. So who was that won?
That was Sam who won.
So it's 2-1 to Sam. So he wins. What does he win, Carl?
He wins some CDs and some videos.
No, he's got obviously now, Sam, if you're ready, take the spot. You're going to do the gold run. Away you go, Carl.
I haven't got any more.
You're a fool. Right, stay on the line. We're giving both some presents. Play a record.
Rick, I'm going to shoot off.
Karl Pilkington, do we need him? Where Karl goes around checking out animals with top experts, asking whether we need him in the world.
Yeah. So, this is the first one. We won't do it next week, but I'm already sorting out the contact. We will be looking at octopus, because they're a bit weird. So that's what you got to look forward to in 20,
Again, if you have an animal that you feel is unnecessary in the world, then email us, and I'm sure Karl will investigate for you.
Well, the other thing as well, whilst we're on to that, I want to sort of have a bit of research with me. So when I speak to the bloke or the woman about the octopus, right? I want
you want to be armed with the facts.
Well, sort of response from listeners, so I can say, well, 70% of XFM listeners said we should get rid of them.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? Like Jon Snow does on Channel 4 when he does all, like, politics stuff. So, if you agree with me, just send an email saying yes.
So yes, we should get rid of them.
Yes, yeah. Or
yes, get rid of them. Because the house believes always we should get rid of these animals. You're picking animals you want to get rid of. So yes is, get rid of them. No is, don't get rid of them.
Well, and not no, it's Noah, because they go on the Ark. The ones we keep go on the Ark.
That element I'd completely forgotten about, and I think that's a wise move, because I don't think that's working. I don't think you've thought through the whole Noah. So that's just complicating the show, I think.
So yes, we get rid of them. Noah, they're saved on the Ark.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so here we go then, jellyfish.
So today we're looking at jellyfish in Pilkington. I'm talking to Vicky, who works in an aquarium in Anglesey, mate.
Yes, it is, yes.
Right, brilliant. Today we want to find out if we really need jellyfish. I've got a bit of a problem with them anyway, because I've been stung by one, and I've done a little bit of research into them, so I'll tell you what I know about them.
Okay.
You might learn some stuff from me.
Oh, you never know.
And if I'm talking nonsense, just tell me.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Right, so first of all, they don't have eyes, do they?
No, they don't.
Right,
No.
so I'm right with that. No lungs.
No lungs.
They haven't got a heart.
No hearts, heartless.
And they're made up of like 97% water.
Yes, they are.
So they're pretty useless, really.
Well, they have got a nervous system. They're actually about 650 million years old, so they've evolved and they've outlived the dinosaurs, and they're even older than the sharks, and they can even outfox us, because NASA scientists have worked with them to try and work out how they operate in weightlessness, and they still don't know how they do that. Took them into space actually to figure out how they did that.
Seems like a bit of a waste of money, but do you know Port Maddock? I used to go there a lot for my holidays, and there used to be a load of them washed up on the beach. People on motorbikes used to go over them and stuff.
Yeah. Well, we get the moon jellyfish. That's the ones with they've got pink bits in the middle.
Yeah,
that's their reproductive bodies.
I think that was them. I think they're the ones that went over on the bike because you could see pink bits. What do they do? If the jellyfish went, would we have a problem on our hands, do you think?
Okay. You might have a bit of a knock-on effect, because things like turtles eat jellyfish.
Yeah, but do we need turtles?
Well, don't forget that when you take out something from the marine system, something normally feeds on. I mean, they're not just there for the fun of it. Something either feeds on it or feeds on what they excrete.
What you're saying is they exist to sort of feed others and also to eat some stuff that's
well, yeah, they control the population of other fish and species that might otherwise be a problem.
Okay, well, let's kind of wrap this up, right? The question that I'm asking today is, do we need them? Say if Noah had his ark, right? You've swum and got on the boat, you're alright, you're safe, he's going to keep you to sort of populate the world as well. Right, so it's you and him. He's not a bad-looking fella, so you're happy.
Yeah.
He says to you, Vicky, do we need him?
Absolutely.
I don't even know why she even gave you that interview. When you start off with, right, yeah, trying to find out if I need you, but what did you tell her to get her to talk to you?
Just said I'm doing some research on stuff.
Did she think you were a schoolboy or something?
No, she just said, oh, alright. She said, you know, how long will it go on? For not long, just like 5 minutes to have a quick chat. And she loved it, didn't she? She sounded happy to take part in that.
So, the fact
I love the fact that you've got an expert, and you suggest that she's going to be having sex with Noah. He's a good fella, so you're happy. She goes, yeah. I mean, I don't know why you stopped there, didn't go into positions or something. I can't believe...
The problem is, really, I didn't get to the bottom of what I wanted to say, because...
Oh, no, you did. That's it. That's done now. That's a pretty good academic work. That's proved, yeah.
No, but the turtle thing, you know, when she said, oh, if you get rid of them, the turtles, you know, won't have anything to eat. But when she said that, I mean, I couldn't say it because it would have took her off and confused her. But...
Well,
like,
she's a scientist, she's easily confused.
Well, say, like, when Suzanne is working, right, I'm not a very good cook, so I always get, like, an Indian in. Right?
What? To do the cooking for you?
So, right, I'll have an Indian. Right, now, say if, for some reason, it closed, I'd get a Chinese. So why don't the turtle just... There's loads of stuff in the sea. But I didn't want to get too heavy on her, but...
It's pretty deep.
Oh, that is genius.
But we'll look at...
But so the fact that she said, yes, you need jellyfish, does that mean that you've changed your... I mean, what I'm saying is, does her answer go? Does that stand?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Whatever I get the expert to say, I try and get them in a corner.
Right, you try and, yeah, argue them into a corner.
Argue them into a corner, but that time she wasn't having any of it, so we've got to carry on having them.
Yeah.
So in the new year, we'll be looking at octopus.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, great. Do we need them?
Do we need them? It's something we started a few weeks ago. We're always talking about animals and insects and that. And it's like, you know, if you took an animal out of the world, would we have problems? Right?
Would it make any difference?
Yeah, would it make any difference?
We did jellyfish last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
We sorted that out.
The woman said we've got to keep them.
We do need them, because turtles eat them.
Yeah. So, I've moved on. Octopus.
Do we need the octopus?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I'm working through a load of animals, right, that I'm finding out whether we need them or not, right?
Right.
Because, like, jellyfish, to me, I'm a bit puzzled by them. I don't really know why we need jellyfish, and I spoke to some expert.
Turtles eat them.
What?
Turtles eat them.
Yeah, I know, but do we need turtles? Do you know what I mean? It goes on and on, doesn't
We
it?
need humans.
Well, you know, I mean, I might get to that bit, but
Yeah.
I need to sort out the animals first. I've got a lot on. So, the thing is, I've left the jellyfish. We know we need them, right?
Right.
So, octopus.
Yeah.
Right, I know they're pretty brainy.
Incredibly brainy.
A story that I heard, I don't know if it's true, but there was some science lab somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Where they had some octopus in it, and they had some crabs.
Yeah.
And at night, the octopus was like getting a bit bored on its own in the dark and that, and they sort of come alive in the dark, don't they?
Yeah.
They like the dark.
Yeah.
And the octopus had its eye on the crabs, and at night when it's dark, it was getting out of its little cage, crawling along the floor, getting in the crab's cage, getting them out and eating them.
I don't doubt it. We put jam jars with the lids on with crabs in, and they'll open the jam jar and...
You're joking?
Yeah.
Even I sometimes struggle with them.
Yeah, we don't do it... Well, you don't do it really, really tight, but...
Alright, so they're not that clever then?
Well, they would, if they were strong enough, they'd open it, but they're just not that strong.
Oh, that's mad. Right, I also know that if they get hungry, they eat their own legs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're deaf.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
they don't live very long.
They can squash themselves into small jugs.
Oh, yeah, they can go in a demi-john through the narrow neck and that.
Why do they need to do that?
Because they're the sort of crevices and holes that they're hunting for crabs and things through.
So, would they be better if they were smaller? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I really don't know. It's...
Yeah. But octopus then, if Noah said to you, you know, we're having a clear out,
Yeah.
we've got too many animals to look after and that in the sea, taking up too much room,
Right.
do we need them?
I think there's other less useful things in the sea than octopus. Limpets, they could go.
Limpets?
Yeah, they just sit on a rock and do nothing for 50 years.
But they're not getting in the way then, how big are they?
Oh, not very big.
Yeah, you see, I might come round to them, but I never think, oh, you know, I'm sick of seeing these limpets. Whereas octopus, you know, crawling about, opening jam jars and that.
You'd never see them though, they're really rare.
Well,
We get 2 or 3 caught a year, it's quite amazing.
do we need them?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Well, we'll just have to keep them then.
I love that Carl can confuse a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah, because all systems of logic break down.
I know,
Everything I've ever
even the
learned.
scientist was going, well, get rid of limpets.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Now,
is
who
brilliant.
was that guy?
I think his name was Chris,
And where was he from?
in a place called Megavissi, where I went one year.
Megavissi.
And he's a scientist, is he?
I think he's got a fish shop or something like that.
He's got a fish.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
really-
like an aquarium type place.
Oh right.
So,
A fish shop.
It wouldn't
fish and chip shop.
It wouldn't be past him that he, a winkle store. He's got a winkle store at Poole Harbour.
Yeah, that's an expert.
Oh dear.
but what have you learnt from that then?
Well, that, we don't know whether they're deaf or not, because the scientist, the bloke in the chip shop couldn't confirm it. They eat their own legs. Think of
That's
that.
a bit weird.
Isn't it?
They eat their
weird.
own legs.
They eat their own legs if they get hungry.
Right.
And they grow back, don't they?
I think so, yeah.
If you eat one, they'll grow back.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can put them in little jars and that. If you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's like no, but do you know, like, you know, people have a go about being cruel to animals and that. But what he was saying there is, right, what they've watched an octopus do, they've got hold of a crab, right? So that'll be being stressed out because it's out of the water.
Yeah.
They've then stressed it out even more by putting it in a jar,
Right.
which he didn't like.
Uh-huh.
And then an octopus is crawling about on the jar,
Yeah.
and the crab knows that the octopus wants to eat it, right?
Yeah.
So then it's having more threats
Yeah.
because of that, and then they let the octopus eat it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty.
Do we need crabs?
See them next week, yeah?
Well, I want to sort out snails first.
Right. What's your pitch with snails? What do you know about snails?
I know that bats eat them. They can sleep for 13 years.
Right.
Can you believe that?
He said to me, snails can sleep for 13 years. And I went, right. He went, oh, thing is though, if it was a scientist, and he was, you know, he was looking at it, and he put it in a quiet place, it might well doze off. He said it wouldn't be the same if it lived on the streets.